Yo, yo, what's good? What's good? It's your boy D Payne. We back with another one. Today I want to go over actual market structure, like intraday market structure. All right. I want to go over this. So show comments on stage. All right. Let my group. Okay. All right. All right, I want to go over today's price action on SPX. I was able to catch the move. I got stopped out a few times on a few plays. Today was actually low volume in the market, pretty slow price action. Um, so let's go over it. Let me go over like higher highs and higher lows and like market structure, like being able to read the actual structure. All right, it's a lot of videos over YouTube, but this is my YouTube channel, so I'm gonna go over what I want to go over. All right, I want to appeal to the audience that appeals to me. All right. So today, this was the first 5 minute candle, right? So right out the rip, this right here was marked a high. This is a low. How we know it's low? Because we bounced off of here. Okay. So we broke the high right here. So this is a higher high, right? And then how we know this is a lower low. Now, this is where they got me. All right. This is where they got me. I will admit they stopped me out on one of my plays this morning because I was up pretty green right here and I got stopped out. I got stopped out in a break even because because of this move right here. So not this one initially. This was a higher high, higher low right here. This is a higher low. And I thought we were about to come break and go to a higher high. Well, we pulled back. So it came down here, right here at this low. I thought they was going to try to break the structure. So this is what I call just a retracement. This move right here, this is just a simple retracement. So I'm using the path tool. So higher low, higher high, higher low. All right. So all of this is pretty much it's a bull flag. It stayed in this range. This is where a lot of people got chopped up at. This pullback, but right here, I thought we were good. I was up nice right here. So this is just a retracement for me. This is not a break of structure. The only way this is a break of structure if you come out here and break this low right here, the low of the day. It's the only way it can be identified as a break of structure. Other than that, it's just a regular trend. Higher high, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. All right. So with that, sometimes they can come down here, stop you out because this is pretty much just a higher low. So let's just go ahead and move that. Now with that, when I'm in a play, all I do, literally, I'll draw a trend line like this to know, okay, as long as we don't break the structure, we good to go. We good to go, right? So higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And then what I like to do on top of that, I line up the highs. So this was too sharp. I'll bring it to the next one. This is a rising wedge. All right. So sometimes you can just kind of bring it down a little bit. And hug the line as tight as possible. And so it's crazy because this area right here was from yesterday. This was a trend line from yesterday. All of this, right? And then boom, today, well, this was resistance yesterday. So it broke support, resistance, and then came down and then got back up in here. This was resistance again. All right. So it got really, 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 really tight. And so when you can stay in the calls as long as it doesn't break this line right here. So once it broke, if you were in an intraday move to the upside, then you know, okay, I'm in on calls as long as we don't break this bottom line. I haven't even brought in no NMAs yet. And my rule is like I trade above the VWAP, I trade above the non-EMA, I trade above all those things. Let me text my wife real quick. And so within these rising wedges, again, higher low, break up this higher high, right? Because it broke that high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, break. Now you could be like, okay, I'm out of here because the range is way too tight. And we didn't even really sell off for real with meaning. We didn't have no meaning for real with this sell off. We broke it and just chopped, and we just stayed in this box. Stayed in this box right here, this little channel. That's all we did. So with that, now let's do this. Show you how they kind of faked me out a little bit this morning. I was just playing for the gap fill, but this was the, oh, let's go to this tool. I'm about to mark the high and the low of the 5-minute ORB. So let's do that. All right, mark the high and the low of the first 5-minute candle. Now let's see how long we was in this range. Now I'm gonna mark the 15-minute ORB too. Now, technically, we didn't really close below it. We didn't have no, I marked that in white. So you got the 5-minute range, and then you have the 15-minute ORB, the first 35-minute candles. So you literally could have waited if you wanted to until it got above this range right here. And then you could have got in, because I actually grabbed another call once we closed above here. It was this candle right here, this big candle. Oh, let's go back. This candle was the reason why I got back in. So I was in 7,500 calls, and I was in 7,495 calls. And I got all the way to the top right here. And so I was keeping track of this line right here. And so with that, on a 1 hour, let's go back. So in the strat world, on a 1 hour, I thought it was going to fall harder, but this right here was a fill two up on a 1 hour. So this was the put entry for the 1 hour. And the market just doesn't have a lot of volume. So we didn't really sell out. Like, we triggered it and went down, but we didn't really sell out for real. And let's bring that back down to the 5-minute. All right. So this line broke the line. See, look, this was the hour break, and we didn't really sell off too much at all. Usually those things sell pretty good, but they didn't want to come close, no gaps at all. So the market is anticipating these earnings this week. We have Tesla earnings, we have Google, I think GEV, and a few more other stocks. And so it's a decent week for earnings for sure. It's a big week. So I think they're trying to price in some things, but I was basically forced to hedge against my puts that I had yesterday. So with this gap up right here, I mean, we closed down here, and this gap up to, like, I mean, the semis, NVIDIA, AMD, Micron, SanDisk were all gapped up. So they came down, closed the gap a little bit, and bounced. So again, use your path tool. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, this is what I want to say. Let's see how long it took for us to get out the range. So I'm gonna bring in my measurement tool. So from here to here, it was 1 hour and 35 minutes before we actually closed above this line. So you had to wait for the first hour and a half pretty much to get it closed, a clean close, well, a decent enough close above this 5-minute RB. So it was quite a while. But this right here is what got a lot of people, this little range right here, this right here. This right here was tough. Because a high right here, we had, so we had a high, low, high, low, finally broke above First break above. So a lot of people got stopped out. I got stopped out a few times. This was me trying, but my stops wasn't too bad. So we were able to, make do. Make sure. Okay, I got 5 people watching. Make sure I ain't put no comments in here. Go to the stream. No comments. Okay. All right. So this is on SPX. It's the intraday move, but this is exactly how you can do it. So when you're in a move, let's say if you already in calls and you decided to get in there, just start using your path tool. Just talk to yourself. Okay, let me see if I can find a higher low. All right, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and then you draw them trend lines just like this, and you try to match them up. And you're like, okay, bet as long as we inside of this, I'll ride out the trend, right? I'll ride it out. Once it break, then I'll get out of my calls, depending on how much time you got, right? Oh yeah, appreciate that, man. I got you, Kev. I got you, man. So so a lot of these things happen on different time frames too. So let's try this. Let's do this. We're in a very choppy market right now because on the month we're inside month. So let me show you something. Okay, so I'm going to show you something. The reason why the market is so tough right now is because last month was a red month. And so I'm going to mark the high and the low of last month. This was last month. This is the high and the low of last month. Now, let's mark the high and the low of this month. Let's make that orange. This month so far, and today is the 21st. So this is why the range is so tough. Now let's go to the week. Last week's range. Let's make that a different color, and let's make that let's make this like purple. I want to go light purple. All right, so they're pretty much at the same height as last week. So this is last week's high and low, right? Now this week's high and low. See what's happening here? See what's happening? Let's make that yellow. This is this week's range. This is where everybody's getting chopped up. Everybody's getting chopped up in here. This has been this week so far. We got 2 days and 19 hours left. Now we need to see a break above this range or a break below this range, especially last week, right? Last week. And so we need to see a break of that. Let's go to the 2-day chart. Okay, 2-day. We're still inside, pretty much almost inside the 2-day range. We just barely broke above it. But the daily range, they faked me out with this candle right here. I'm not gonna lie. This little up move, because all this right here was big bearish, and the way they gapped this thing up and pushed it up and negated this level was tough. It was tough, but we barely broke above that, and so now we're gonna see. All right, we're gonna see. But these are the ranges. This range is such a tight range. Look at this. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. It's just getting smaller and smaller. The range is really tight. So when you're up, like I said, it's totally on you. But like I said, I'm starting to take my coins. Like yesterday, I took a chance and held one of my puts. I held my puts. I was up like 73% or 77% at close, and I really do that. But the setup was so good that I would take that trade 8 times out of 10. It just decided to get me that day. And the way it did it, I wasn't even that mad. I'm like, all right, whatever. Because I hedged it with some calls, and I was able to make up for it. I was able to make up big time. Right. So, Okay, and let's go and let's try to find. Let's go on a weekly. Let's do this on a weekly. Let's go back to October. I want to show y'all what a break of market structure is, okay? What I mean. So this is the weekly time frame. So we have, well, let's go here. Let's bring this all the way in. Let's try to do, do I want to do October or do I want to do, no, I'll do October 23rd. 2023. All right, so, all right, let's try right here. Higher high, higher low. Higher high, higher low. Notice we did not break the low right here. I'll show you again. Retracements are normal. You have to have this in the market. That's why you have a chart. It's like a staircase. Higher high, higher low. Higher high, higher low. It still has not broken. Higher high, higher low. Higher high. Now, what you can do, again, bring those lines in to know where you at in that channel. So you know, okay, as long as you're in calls, you can still stay in calls as long as you don't break this channel. What we got right here, this is a break of structure because this right here was a higher low right here, and they came and broke it right here. They broke it. This was a low. Boom, we mark that. This was a low. They broke it, came down. This was support. So now, but this is another way you can connect this to two. So you're like, okay, if they ever come down, this was a low, and this was a low, and they came down and hit this. So low point, low point, low point. And on the rider range, still, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high on a bigger scale. And then you have these breaks. Let's start from here. We got a big drop, it's a big bounce point, right? So now you can say, okay, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. What we got? We're about to have a break. They have a break right here. They came and took out these lows. It's a break of structure. Now they're starting the process all over again until they find the bottom. Higher high, higher low, higher high. I almost broke the low, didn't do it. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Double top, break. They had a break. So this was a line right here. You could have drew that. It's all kind of lines, man. It's all kind of lines, and they follow. Look at this line. They following this. They following it. Channel, will they come back to this? Will they come back down here? We'll see. We will see. Y'all got any questions? Let me know if y'all got any questions, man. I'm here. This was a nice little trend line. Boom. So now you got support here. In real time, how can we follow the trend line? So in real time, okay, good question. So let's go back to today. You said in real time, what could we have done? What could we have done in real time today? Let's go back down to the 5 minute. Real time. So let's do this because I want to give a good example. What's today's? Where's this? Where did this go? Hold on, let me start this over. I think it might have glitched. Let's do the bar replay over. I don't know why this is doing that. Why are we going back to July? Okay, give me a second. I don't know what's happening on here. I'm trying to do just today, Tuesday, July 21st. Start new. Okay. Okay. So now let's hit play. Let's show it real time. Right off the rip, right here, you can draw these support lines just like that. Right off the rip. And then match the higher high. So now there go your higher high. So you're like, okay, bet. They created a new low, adjust it. Adjust your lines. And then by this time, it's sped up. But by this time, you know this is a low. And now there's a break. So let's do this. I don't want to do today. Let's go ahead and go back to, let's start a new one. Let's start a new replay. Start new. Wait until it start a new day, new time. It's at 12:50. Give it a second. You're about to start a new day. I'm gonna hit pause. All right, now here go a new day. New day is getting ready to start. First 5 minutes. So I'm about to draw the top and the bottom of the range. So let's do this. All right, so we know we want to look for anything that's above that or anything that's below that. So on 5 minutes, so we want to, okay, got a low right here. This is a strong trend that day. So right here, you connect the higher highs, connect the lower low. As long as you in this, if you in this move, you know, you got to stay in calls because you have not broke the trend line to the downside. You haven't broke it. Especially on this pullback right here. All I did was just connect the first couple of lines. If you see this right here, all I did was connect this line and this line. Like if I literally just do just that right there, there's a line it's going to hit later on. And then if you bring in the trend lines, they above all of that, they above the 9. And you know that 9 and the 20 is going to be support. Bringing the VWAP, they're going to be above the VWAP all day. So anything above the VWAP. So to start the day, this candle right here, you had no excuse to not get in. This right here, 950. Because the reason why is because we were rejecting. And then this candle right here, this third candle was a strong close, and they pulled back inside of this, and we stayed above the VWAP the whole time. Once this pushed off of this VWAP like this, we should have been in calls because we're looking for breaks above the 5-minute RB. And then so to start the day, you can literally connect the two lowest lines. This is a low, this is a low, and then you just adjust your lines as you go. So you had a high right here, rejection, it pulled back. So you know, okay, bet. Came right here again, draw that high, and then so now you know, as long as like if we already in calls because you got in right here, right? You got in right around in this area. And let's go to the 2 minute. Let's go to the 2 minute right here. Right here. So you were able to see that we had rejections, but we were supporting above the VWAP this whole time. Buying up off of this right here, pushing out of here. So let's say if you got in calls right here, you know, okay, bet. I'm in calls as long as we're above the 5-minute RB, as long as we're above the VWAP. Bring in the EMAs. As long as we're above the 9, I have to be bullish. We breaking out, I have to be bullish. So now you have to weather the storm in this and say, okay, bet. I'm riding this thing out. And then, you know, when we bring in our ADRs and we have everything that we tried it out, you already know that this is just a channel that's drawn out. So let's wait till it break. So now right there, you can start to get out right here when it break right here. This is when it started to break right here. And that's just the 5 minute. I can, if it starts to sell off, I can bet you the hour probably was like a fail to up on the 30 minute or the 1 hour time frame. Let's play that. So this is a break, but that they holding the EMA. So you can say I'll get out when it breaks this lower channel or when they lose the 20 EMA. If they don't lose the 20, you can ride that too. You can draw another line of support. You can say, okay, bet I'm still in this as long as they don't break this line. So you can have multiple lines. You're like, I'm still in this as long as they don't break that line. Boom. Okay, now they showing. Okay, boom. Right there. Right there. They knocked this all the way down, came right back down to the 5-minute ORB. Sheesh, that was a gap down. Okay, so they closed up here, but then so overnight they gapped this down. So this is a new day. This was a new day. So this doesn't matter. So you could have literally stayed in here the whole day. There was no reason to get out of no calls the whole time. So when you see this, you can say, okay, bet this is a channel. And then, this is the EMAs were above the EMAs, and that 20 EMA is my anchor, and the VWAP is king. As long as we're above that and we holding the trend, we good. On a stop loss? Okay. All right. So pretty much how I do it, that stop loss, you can do a few things. So the first 5-minute ORB right here. Let's turn off the indicators. All right. Okay. So let's say if we got in, on this candle. And so a couple of things you can do. You can say, all right, bet. When it comes back to the halfway point, I can choose this as a stop loss, or I can use the low, the absolute low. If it takes out the bottom of this 15-minute ORB, then that means, I'm gonna stop out. So you can stop out either on this candle specifically. So let's say if we got in on this candle, but this is the candle right here. We can use this candle as a stop out. So this is gonna be a level of stop out right here. Or this can be a stop out, which is the halfway point inside the 15-minute ORB, inside the 5-minute range, right? Or this can be your absolute stop right here if you want to be more risky. And like I said, as long as you're above VWAP, as long as you're above the EMAs, that's how you would, you kind of say, all right, bet, I'll stop out. Let's say if we got in on this candle right here. So we got in on this candle right here, this big ass candle right here. And you like, okay, it broke out. But if it comes back and break below this candle, which is the low, let's say this right here, and let's make this orange. We can say this is a low too. So if we got in on this candle and we green, all right, like you can use your stop out on the same very candle that once this closed, let's say if this next candle would have been red and took out the low, you could have stopped out right here and said, okay, well, maybe the stock is not ready to go. Like SPX is not ready to go higher. So you got different levels. So this would be your first stop loss. This can be your second stop loss. Let's make that green. So first, second, third, and then this can be your fourth one. That other candle right here, low right here, that can be your fourth one and your fifth. So you can choose to whichever your risk tolerance, whatever your level of risk tolerance, you can choose to do this one, the absolute low of the day, or this one, or this one, or the very candle that you got in on and say, okay, I'm in on this candle because it's breaking out, right? We're breaking out of this, right? And I want to get in as long as they don't take out this same candle, I'm still in calls. Because that other candle can open and close red, but as long as it don't break below this candle right here, you're still like, nah, I'm sticking with it because we're above everything. We're above the EMAs, we're above the VWAP, and I'm riding out with this. We're above the 5-minute ORB, and let me see if I can turn on this pre-market high and pre-market low. Will it do it? I don't know if it'll go back that. It won't let me see the pre-market high and pre-market low on this, but you could use your pre-market high as a level too. So if we break above the pre-market high, so we break above it and hold and start to push up, then you good for calls. That's why today I was able to catch these moves. I got stopped out a few times, but I believed in a market structure. So I went to a random day. This is what, June 26th. Random day. All right. Intel. You want to go for Intel? All right, bet. Let's go to Intel. So let's delete that. Let's hit stop. Leave Intel. All right, same thing. Okay, so, okay, this is perfect. So we got super close to the pre-market lows, bounced off of here. So this was a low. So let's mark the 5-minute ORB. So we were in this range. Now they got some people off in here. They got some people because we had a 5-minute close outside of this right here, right? But if I go to the 10-minute, I can tell you right now, this candle right here, this is why I watch multiple time frames. I can guarantee you if I was watching this, I might have got stopped out on puts just because, I see this gap being filled. But let's review this. This is a fill to down. Let me show you something. On the 10-minute time frames, the fill to down, this candle right here, you could have entered right here on this candle. Sell off, sell off, sell off, boom. This was a low point. All right. This is a low point. So now you could have entered right at the break of this candle to the upside. Let's make this green. So fill to down, you could say, okay, bet when we break above this green line right here, I'm going to get in. We triggered it, and then we had a little bit of a pullback, and then we took off out of here. Now you could say, okay, all right, this is a high, this is a high. I want to see this break above this fill to down on the 10. You could draw a steep line like this. These little tricks I used to do by myself before my trading group. I would be like, okay, I'm waiting for you to break out. And, I'm like, okay, bet. I'll connect these lines right here. And I'm looking for you to break back above here. If you can do that, then we good. Right? So they sold off, boom, broke out. But let's go a step further. Because I can tell you, I already knew it was a fill to down on the 10. I've been looking at these charts so long. Yeah, and this is a 2-1-2 bullish reversal to the upside. Oh, this is a great move today. Great move. But you got the 5-minute ORB. You have a low right here. All right. So now you have this starting to stack up. So you can say, all right, bet. Let me just go ahead and connect these two little bars right here. All right. So you can connect this and just say, all right, cool. Let's see if you can hold this trend. They broke that. And then they just kind of went sideways and then went up for a while. But you could have got in from here to here. And then again, what we went to earlier, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We never broke this low. Higher high, higher low. And we was waiting to break. It had to break this higher high. It took forever, but higher high, higher low, sideways chop. Sideways chop. And then they ended the day with a push to the upside. That's on a 5-minute. But this right here was a hot mess. But if you wanted to just be like, okay, bet. Once you've seen this candle right here, this fell to down on the 10-minute, you could have said, all right, bet. I'm going to draw a line from this point to this high point. And then you're like, okay, I want to see if you can break out above this. You could have waited, just said, I'm going to get calls when they start to break above this white line. So even if you didn't want to get in right there, let's get on the 5. All right. When you trade tomorrow, just start drawing lines. Start drawing lines. Try to find high points and low points. So to start the day, you can say, okay, bet this is a downtrend. If we break above this white line, then I know we're going to start to break to the upside. And then you're like, okay, as long as we're still inside of this, we're going down, right? And then you got to decide whether you want to get in as far as some puts or whatever. But this kind of would have told you to stop out. If you would have got puts right here, and then you got this candle that got green, you already know you had to wait to see if this candle right here in particular, this red candle, they taking out that red candle, the bulls took over. They sold it off, they couldn't do it, and then the bulls took over. until, yeah. But yep, this is a line, trend line right here. Like I said, he's just drawn and support, support, support. Break, went sideways. All right. Before this one even, so let's say, okay. Once they came down here and bounced, all right, you can connect these two. And then you know, okay, they got this, and you can anticipate if they push off this low right here, you can catch a scalp to the upside and say, okay, I'm gonna play into the resistance to this top line. Boom. And they did that. And you can say, I'm selling as soon as they get up here. And what they do, they sold off. Chop went sideways. So, but hopefully that was helpful. I'm gonna start doing more of these. I feel like I need to go more over like market structure and all of these things. I need to go over more of those. I feel like I need to keep doing this on different stocks. And y'all comment below. Just leave like 2 different stocks you want me to comment on the next video. We're gonna go over market structure, higher highs, higher lows. Let's comment on that. Let's go to the daily. This is why this is so tough, because you have higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low, and then it broke again, higher high. So it broke the structure again. Higher low, higher high, higher low, double top, fell. So this is just a really tough range. And then they bouncing again. It tells that's on the daily. But I can tell you right now, this is a nice little broadening formation. And boom. Now, from broadening formations, I can see this happening. Look. Look. It's just like a megaphone pattern. It just keeps doing it. It just keeps doing it. So if semis are strong, then this, I mean, if we go to all-time highs, I would not be surprised if they get up here. I wouldn't be surprised, y'all. So let's look at it on the weekly. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Resistance, support, resistance, support. Can we? I won't be surprised if we get up there. So, we'll see. Nothing guaranteed. It's just me practicing in front of y'all real time. Real time, me practicing. Okay. NVIDIA, since its influence so much on other markets. Yeah, okay. We'll go over that. We're gonna go over NVIDIA on the next video, because I'm right at 43 minutes on this stream. And yeah, we definitely gonna do that, man. Please like this video. Please leave a comment. Just something, you know what I mean? I guess it helps the my channel get more noticeable and get more people come across my page. So just leave a nice comment if you can. And just, but yeah, just leave me some comments as far as like with other stocks. So you can name 1 or 2 stocks, or maybe 3 stocks you want me to go over on the next video on market structure. We're gonna go over this broad information, higher highs, higher lows, all of that stuff. All right. This is your boy Denzel. I'm signing off. It's time to go. And I'll see y'all, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in.